I wanted to review a couple of different fire starters. Often we take them for granted. After you use them for a while, they kind of become second nature, and we often forget that not everybody's used the same types of fire starters that we've used before. So I've got a few different ones that I want to discuss, and I'll let you know where I got them. The first is the Blast Match. Comes in a little case. You release, there's a latch you release, and it folds back on itself. You can see the fire steel is a very thick and robust fire steel. The steel scraper is inside the latch, and to use that, for any fire steel, they come with a coating. You can see where this one's been scraped off. The coating is protective. It performs better if you scrape off that coating or a little bit of that coating first. But to use this one, you squeeze on that latch, and that depresses the steel against the rod, and then you just push down. It's a one-handed operation tool, and you can see it gives a pretty good shower of sparks. I'm not going to go over the different tinders, but today we'll just try it with cotton balls. Again, for one-handed operation, it's pretty simple to use. You can put it next to the tinder pile, you can put it on the tinder pile, whatever you're more comfortable with, and practice. But the key is to practice whatever you use. We'll put it right on the tinder pile for this one. And you can see the cotton lights up fairly easy and burns. That's the Blast Match. Got this one from Safe Zone LLC. It's an online store. Good service, good prices. Check them out. The next is a fire steel from firesteel.com. They come in various sizes, and like any of the fire steels, you want to scrape that coating off. There's also scrapers that come with it. You can use any steel scraper, even a stainless steel will work. There's some carbon content. The high carbon steels work a little bit better. This is a steel that came with it, and as you can see, it produces pretty good sparks there as well. Some people will scrape their steel toward the tinder pile. You run the risk of hitting your tinder pile. It does take a little practice. Some people will move the fire steel away and hold their steel steady. You won't hit the tinder pile, but again, getting the sparks to land where you want them is going to take a little practice. Or if you're in a situation where you've injured yourself and only have one hand and one of these, using something like a knife down near your tinder pile where you've placed your foot on it, and then you're using the fire steel against the back of your knife or against the blade of your knife. I prefer to use the back and not dull the blade, but that comes in handy as well. So with this, you don't need, especially when you're using something like cotton that lights so easy, you don't need to take big long strokes at it. And there it's burning. Just a small little stroke. Tinder didn't go flying everywhere. You don't need to get too exotic with it. With that, it stores very easily in kits in your wallet. There's smaller sizes that fit in your wallet very easily. There's much bigger sizes. If you're concerned about hanging on to it, you can put a handle on it. Here's some that I put some handles on. They were just material that was left over from some knife making. There's some blue jean micarta that was left over from a knife I did. Just drill a hole, put your fire steel on there. This particular one has a lanyard hole, gives you something to hold on to. Or this is a piece of bocat left over from a knife handle as well. Next on here is a little neck kit that I've got. I picked this neck kit up from Kevin. Kevin is the paracordist. He sells some stuff on eBay. He's got a website. I'm not sure the website offhand, but just Google paracordist and you'll find him. He's got a Ranger fire steel on it. He does some amazing work with paracord. I'm not sure what the knots are called, but that fire steel is not coming out of that knot. It's held on very securely. He's got some jute twine that you can cut off and the twine will not unravel. Makes a good tinder. It's also got some fat wood on there, and then a piece of magnesium, and one of the scrapers that he picked up. This together gives you a pretty good fire kit. You've seen how the fire steel works. With the magnesium, you want to make a little pile of it. Have your tinder ready. We're just going to light the magnesium for this. Show how to do that with the fire steel. You want a pretty good sized little pile. You don't want to play around. When you want fire and you need fire, you should make fire. I'm not going to do a real big pile today, just for time. You don't want to sit there and watch me scraping magnesium all day. But I found that this one works pretty good. The magnesium scrapes pretty well. And with the fire steel that comes with it and the scraper, again, just holding that fire steel right next to or on top of that pile. Magnesium does burn very hot, so be careful. And there it goes. Again, you need to have your tinder ready if you're going to use magnesium as your primary tinder. Next up is a Light My Fire fire steel. A lot of stores carry these, Army, Navy stores, wherever. I think I picked this up at a local Army, Navy. They usually come on a little lanyard with the scraper. Use just like the other one, scrape off some of the coating. Take your tinder. You can place it in your tinder. This one I'm going to move this one's a little harder to do with the lanyard, move it away, but we'll try it and see how it works. Move the fire steel away from your tinder, see if we can get the sparks to land on that pile. It's just a different method than, here you know your tinder pile's not going to go anywhere. You're taking very short strokes and you're holding the tinder pile down. Here we're going to move the fire steel away from the tinder pile. And it starts just as easily. You're not going to disturb your tinder pile because you are moving away from it. Next, pick this up at a gun show. The manufacturer is Kodiak. It's a large magnesium rod, and it's got a fire steel or ferrocerium rod epoxied to it. It's got a wooden handle. Handle's got a compass in it and a thermometer. The thermometer just tells you that it's hot in Florida. Works the same as that. Comes with as the other magnesium. It's fairly soft. Comes with a little piece of hacksaw blade for your scraper. And again, scrape off the shaving. Gather them up into a small pile. And you can use the fire steel from the back of it. And as you can see, it lights up pretty easily. The next one I've got is a Strike Force. Comes in a case like this. The end of it comes out and there's a piece of tinder in it. It's wet fire tinder. I'm not going to use that today. Talk about the different tinders at another time. And then it separates and you've got a pretty robust fire steel with a scraper. This one hasn't been used at all. So again, like with the other fire steels, just scrape off a little bit of the coating. Well, let's see what happens when we don't scrape off the coating. Now I'm going to take a full stroke toward the tinder pile, see if I can do it without hitting the tinder pile. See, no sparks, but if you scrape off some of that coating, not all the way around, just on the area that you're going to use, and then hit, works pretty good. And the thing to remember when all else fails, provided it's not super cold out, Bic lighter. They work well. They're pretty easy to operate. Next video I do will probably be on some various tinders that we normally carry with us, that I normally carry with me. I hope you enjoyed.